Can you hear? Can you hear? Oh, shit. Where do I turn off the mic on this? Yeah. Oh, shoot. Where do I turn off the, like, he's coming through here. I need to turn off the mic.
Uh, well, do you mean the whole thing?
Yeah,
Jake?
it's coming through the.
Like that?
Thank you.
No problem. Well, did it work though?
Go back to this. Go back to.
I mean, I just turned out all the sound that's coming out of the computer.
I think that. Come on. Oh, shoot. Oh, here we go back over here. Okay, can you hear now? At least it's not coming through here now. It came out of the computer before.
Okay. She might just not be there at the moment.
That's true.
She might be
But
waiting.
it's got like a minute delay too. You have to sit here and wait. It's really, really big delay.
Wow, considering how easy the interface is when you're at home, this is.
No,
It's surprisingly janky on this side of it. Huh?
it is. In fact, when she was doing YouTube Live, if you put YouTube and this up, they were totally different.
Oh, it's broken?
I don't know. We don't know.
We're playing with it.
Oh, is that working? Yeah, that's broken. She did it with a binder clip somehow. That's why they canceled it on Saturday.
Is there anybody here?
There is somebody here.
Hey, y'all. Can you hear me? What's up, y'all? Anything you want to do today? Anyone else? Upper back's weird. Like, how do you stretch a muscle that lives like this? Stretch. You don't. If stretching was going to help it, it would have already helped, right? It's not. So it's going to be about like engaging that. That's why it's like important. That's why we do a lot of that like engagement in the upper back. Y'all know I always do sneaky therapeutics with y'all, right? I don't tell you I'm doing therapeutics, but that's just the shit that I slide in there. That's why we hold, right? In the beginning of like cobras, we're trying to overbalance something. We're trying to activate the upper back, and we're trying to like chill out the chest, right? And arms, and letting these things kind of like balance themselves a little bit. But remember, balance isn't always equal, right? So you have to overweight one side to get the other side to come up. That's definitely one of those situations. What was it? Was there another one? Upper back? What was the other one?
Shoulders.
And some shoulder stuff?
Maybe an IT band.
IT band? Yep. Okay. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with this, but let's see. Is this for real?
It's why they canceled it on Saturday because they said it was really wonky and weird.
I don't think that's working. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Yeah, and I just broke the other clip, so.
I don't think that was going to ever work.
I'm willing to try anything, you know. I'll go for it. What the hell? All right, let's play around a little bit. Take a nice seat. Close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. We'll kind of get going here. Lean back a little bit. And when you lean back, you're going to feel that the sit bones are going to root into the mat. Then you're going to start to feel that energy come up your back. It's going to have to start engaging. Sit up even a little taller. Let the shoulders settle back just a little bit. We're not trying to squeeze our shoulders to the midline, just like we're not trying to let our shoulders round or collapse forward. Now take a breath and fill the ribs. And feel the shoulders gently come up in line with the base of the neck. That's going to happen more from underneath than it is up top. We could just engage our upper traps and pull our shoulders up towards our ears. That's not the action we're looking for. We're looking for the support from underneath. So feel the ribs expand like a cylinder. So front to back, top to bottom, side to side, all directions. Notice, did you lean forward again? If you did, lean back. Let those muscles that run up the spine start doing their job. The head and the throat slide back, let the chin come down just a little bit. We're not trying to touch our chin to our chest, but we don't want our chin up to the sky either. And notice that that position is not easy to hold. It's a challenge. But do your best. If you feel that it crumbles, take another breath, rewind a little bit, reset it up, and hold the space. Now we turn to our breath. From listening to yourself breathe to slowing down the beginning of the inhale and pushing more on the end of the exhale. Counting out and balancing the breath out all the way to Ujjayi. Where is it that you need to settle into? And then check back in. Are you leaning forward again? I know I was starting to come forward. I got to lean back again. Feel the belly drawing in to hold that space as you exhale, right? Transverse abdominis, drawing in. The next inhale, let the arms lift. And the exhale brings the fingertips and the knuckle pads the root, and the heels of the hands lightly touch. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together the sound of Om. All together. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Take that right hand out to the side, left hand up and over. Breathe up into that palm and take that little side bend to the left. Nice and gentle here, right? Not using our hand or our arm to crank our neck, using it to support the weight of our head as we then take that little side bend. And then if you look to the shirt pocket, you're going to get in those upper traps. If you look up towards the sky, SCM, that's this chunky muscle here, is the one that hangs on as your head falls forward all day. This one. So that's why that one might be icky. But find where you need to be, maybe both. And then inhale, come up. Next inhale, take the arms up. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed, right? Shutters are open, shutters are closed. Now take the head and the throat back. Now take the arms back. Yeah, feel all that work come up through here. And then exhale, hands in front. Swap the legs. Take the left hand out to the side. When you take your hand out, you're pushing back into this right sit mode. Then let the hand come up and over. Breathe up into the palm. And just a little bit of that side bend in the neck. Then after a few breaths, keep sitting up tall. After a few breaths, maybe look down, or maybe look up, maybe hold neutral. Whatever feels good to you. Active from your feet up your legs, you're hugging in, right? Core, sitting up nice and tall. Next inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Next inhale, take the arms up. Pull the belly, pull the shutters. Head and throat back. Try to take those arms back even a little more. And then exhale, hands in front. Spin around, all fours. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Pointer fingers are straight forward or turned out a little bit. We just don't want them this way, in. All right, we want them forward or out that little bit. If they go in, see how my shoulder peels away, my arm peels away from my shoulder? See where I'm at? That's why I want to be this way. See what happens now? I integrate back here. That's what I want. I want the friends all in the game. Take a couple breaths, low mountain. So charging up those arms by hugging the hands in, by squeezing the biceps, working the legs by sweeping the heels out and hugging the shins in, pulling your heels to your butt to your heels, that's hamstrings. Belly to spine, shutters are closed. Now settle the upper back. Like, this is not enough. This is too much. So find where that sweet spot has to be. And then when you're ready, oscillating cat-cow. So the inhale is going to take the hips up, back, and around. You could even look up. And then exhale is going to bring them forward and under. Up and back, all the way around, forward and under. Let's get 5 each way. Now go slow. This little move here really takes those vertebrae through all those ranges of motion. Now I'm coming up on my 5th one here. When you hit your 5, come to that neutral position, take a breath, and then you'll work side 2. Now, if you're new to this pose, sometimes it gets to be a little tricky to look up as the hips are going up and around. Take the head out of it and just work through the hips and the low back. But if it feels like you could put the head into it to look up, go for it. Give it a try. I'm coming up on my last one now. Take your time. And when you've done your 5 both ways, we'll meet back in that low mountain. Right? You always hear me say, we're not waiting for another pose. This is a pose right now, right? Mountain pose, Tadasana, is when we're standing. Here we're down low. I don't know if it's called a mountain. I just call it that. Trina? Tabletop. There we go. I guess that makes sense, right? I'm going with low mountain. Sounds cooler. Take a couple breaths. Step back to plank. And then back to downward dog. I tell you all the time, I don't always know all the English terms to those things because that's just not how we were taught in teacher training, but I got a chance to learn a little bit in the gym. But if you ever have a question about a pose or a name or a meaning or some Sanskrit, ask Trina. So first downward dog, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to soften up that dog you always hear me say. And then just play a little bit. You pedal, or maybe you swivel, right? You just start to feel what's going on in the body. As you pedal, you're going to feel down the back of the legs. You might feel that whole back line. As you swivel, you're going to feel that side body. You might get that TFL-IT band a little bit, one of our spots we're going to work. Then come to a neutral position. Now, if you're going to try to straighten your legs, make sure you keep that engagement of pulling your heels to your butt to your heels. And then as you push your hands down and forward, the chest goes back towards the toenails. You keep the forearms and the inner biceps lifting up. And then you can start to stretch down the back of the legs. Maybe like heels towards the floor. And then inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Let's do 5. So moving dynamically gives the body a different opportunity, a different way to open. Dynamic takes the muscles through their full range of motion. And as they shorten and as they lengthen, they release. Now this is my 5th one. On your 5th one, as you come forward, let the exhale lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra, and take 3 nice breaths. Stay low if you want here. Come up a little higher if you want, whatever your flavor is. But shoulders are back and down away from your ears. When you're ready, lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Now, if it feels good to keep those knees bent, keep those knees bent. If it feels good to straighten the legs, straighten the legs. It's not going to be a right or a wrong. It's going to be whatever feels good in the moment. But keep pushing those hands down and forward. And as the forearms and the inner biceps lift, you soften the chest down towards like the toenails. And that's where that big opener comes. Slide the head and the throat back so the chin doesn't fall to the floor. And you'll notice you can get even deeper into that pose. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take the 3 nice breaths. Control, right? Accelerate, decelerate, and stabilize. I talk about that all the time. After your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Behind your blocks or your fingertips. We just don't want our back to look like this. If your back looks like this is everything we're trying to get away from, right? We're trying to get our back here to neutral, not to back bend, right? Just to neutral. Now charge those legs up, so keep pushing down. Feel the lift away from the floor. Now hug in, not just pushing down, but hugging in front to back. So you're pulling your front heel back and your back toes forward. Side to side is shins into the midline. Now hold that space in the legs. Now take it up from your pelvic floor into your belly button. Do your shudders. Feel the whole upper trunk starting to expand as you breathe. Take the head and the throat back. Now as you reach out of the heel, forward out of the knee, forward out of the crown of the head. Exhale, lower the back knee. Shift the hips back. Baby Hanuman. You could take this back knee back a little bit. Some of you are going to want to move it back. Some of you are going to want to stay up like this. Not a right or wrong, right? Just whatever feels better. But keep your kneecap and your toes pointing straight up to the sky. Now look forward. Yep. Then if you want to get into the back of the leg a little more, fold to the inside of that right leg. But be careful of the knee. Don't let the knee push. Don't push your kneecap to the floor. Pull it up to your waist. And that'll keep your knee from hyperextending. One more breath. As you look forward, bend into that lead knee. Place the hands down, lift the back knee, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Your breath. Nice pace, y'all. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Bear the weight into your legs. It's easy to put it into your arms. Right? See, at any moment when I move my arms off, my hands off that block, my body should not change, right? Because all the power is going to be here. Now, the expression, right, like we talked about before, we're really firing up and hugging in, and then reach your heel back. Then as you pull your heel back, you reach your knee forward. And you reach up out of the crown of the head. And you breathe side to side, and that's how we express out in every direction. One more breath. Now control it as you slowly lower the knee. Find where you need to be with your blocks, and then shift the hips back. If you need to move that front knee back a little bit, just move it back a little bit. If it feels better to stay up high, stay up high. This wants to happen. You got to go this way. Hug in. Then look forward. Yep. And climb your spine up out of your waist. And then when you feel nice and tall, maybe fold. And when you hinge at the hip crease. See, if I hinge at my belly, it looks like this. And now I'm reinforcing all that shit that we don't want today. If I hinge at my hip crease, it looks like this. That looks like something we want to reinforce, right? Neutral spine. And then as you look forward, bend into that lead knee. Place the hands down. Lift that back knee. Downward dog. Move through one vinyasa, your breath. Take your time. We'll all pretty much be together, so take your time. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Pull the belly in and bring the sit bones down. That way the low back's safe. Now reach up. Yup, now curl back just a little bit. Root down, reach up again. Curl back a little more. Yup, let the inhale come up, exhale hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Take a nice breath, fill up the ribs. Then take the shoulders back. And then the
Get that nice peel off your sternum as your breastplate, through these pecs, through the front of these shoulders, and then the arms you get by taking your arms away from you. That's how you get the forearm and the bicep. Exhale, release. Swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. Curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Keep the weight balanced in the feet. So from front to back is the heel to the ball of your foot. Inner and outer edge is going to be lifting the inner arches up and bringing a little weight to that outer edge. That's going to be the common tendency for almost all of us. But there's a visual, right? The second toe will be in line with the middle of your ankle. So you'll notice if your arch collapses, it lines up with like your inside of your big toe. But if that arch is nice and lifted, it's going to be in line with that second toe. That's where we want to be. Now pull the energy up your legs. Now look forward, bring it up through the spine. Now maybe go ahead and fold. And when you fold, fold at the hip crease. Then at the very end, if you want to go and let that upper back go, let it go. But that's last. Where does the upper back want to be? First, and that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be last on that part of the pose. But that's one of our misalignments, right? So that's easy energy. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a big reach. Curl back that little bit. Yep. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step the right leg back, lunge. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana, one crescent. So I got my front knee right on top of my ankle and right in line with that second toe. So if it's falling in, I'm widening it out. If it's blowing out the side, I'm hunging it in. Now square that right hip forward a little bit. Now pull up from your junk, pelvic floor. Take that root chakra all the way up the crown. Take it beyond the crown. Take it up through your thumbs. Now maybe go ahead and curl back in that pose. Let the inhale come up. Take that right hand across the body. Bring it to the outside of the thigh. Let the left hand meet Anjali Mudra. Power in the legs, right? Just like we talked about. Keep pushing down into those legs. Start to open the chest even a little bit further. Yes, if you want to extend the arms, go for it. I know some of y'all like to work there. Go for it. One more breath. And then inhale, come back to that warrior one. Exhale the hands down. Step forward. So push from that right foot to that left heel. Keep the knees bent. Reach the left leg back. Inhale, come up. Virabhadrasana, one crescent. See, I'm lifting up from the floor. Now I can even play by going back that little bit. And the back of the heart's lifting up through the front of the chest. So I'm going up and back instead of backing down. Let the inhale come up. Take that left hand across the body. See how I got to get long here. Once the side body's long, now I can twist into that space. Really, it's your spine getting long, but that's what you're feeling. Then you can start to open that little bit. Push the hands together. Let the right side of the chest start to open. One more breath. Inhale, come back to that warrior one. Then exhale the hands down. Then step forward and swing the arms up. Maybe curl back that little bit and let the inhale come up. Exhale, hands in front. Right leg forward, left leg back. Triangle. So see, when I first set up my triangle, I was too short. Right, I was here, and when I bent it to my lead knee, look where it would go. That's too far, right? So I got to move this back here. Now the knee starts to stack the ankle. So now when I straighten my legs, here's going to be my triangle space. Back toes slightly turn forward. Take the arms up to the side here. Yep. Now get tall. Feel those side bodies starting to lift up. And then when you're ready, hinge at the right side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Inside the foot, a little more therapeutic, a little more accessible. Behind the foot, a little more challenging. It's not a right or a wrong. It's where you want to play. Everybody keep pushing that big toe mound down, especially if your hand's behind your foot. Keep pushing into that big toe mound on the right foot. Keep that right side body opening up. Spin that right shoulder back. Keep the left ear reaching to the sky. Maybe look up that left arm. And then push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. Bend into that lead knee, warrior two. then the elbow to the thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek. Come to that extended side angle. If the hand's gonna go down to the block or the floor, go for it. Again, inside or outside the foot, depends where you wanna play. Keep lengthening that right sit bone towards that right heel, or sweeping your right heel towards the left, and the knees opening out. You're feeling the inside of the thigh peel. One more breath. Inhale, come back up to that warrior two. Then push the leg straight and step forward. Nice shot. Swap side tip. Left leg forward, right leg back. You are on the balance beam. So the balance beam means your heel is in line with your back arch as compared to this. Right? I would not be on the balance beam. And then check what your distance is going to be, because we're going to link these up. See, poses that are too short are just like poses that are too long, right? Something's not going to flow properly. Here we go. When you're ready, legs are charged, pull the energy up, and it comes up through the trunk. Yep, that upper trunk comes up through the arms, right up out of the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, hinge at the left side of the head. Make sure the knees aren't hyperextending. So we're pulling those kneecaps to our waist. We're opening up that left side body so that the crescent doesn't happen. We're not looking for a side crescent here. We're looking to get that neutral extension the best that we can. Then maybe we look up and we even settle into the pose, so soften your face. And then push into that front heel. Inhale, comes up tall. Yep, and I bend into that lead knee, warrior two. Then the elbow to the thigh. Then I sweep that bicep along my cheek. So if I look up, I'm looking right into my bicep. And then find where the hand needs to be. To the knee, in front of the foot, behind the foot, wherever you want to play. Power in the legs. Freedom in this rotation. Freedom in the looking up. One more breath. Push into that front heel. Come up tall into that warrior two. Then push the leg straight. Then step forward. Let the thumbs catch the heart. Let your eyes close. Take a couple breaths. Full breath in, complete breath out, and let your thumbs flick your heart out in front of you. Mountain pose. So Tadasana through the body, right? Power is going to be in the foundation. Freedom is going to be in you closing your eyes, turning back to the breath, flicking your heart out in front of you. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Right hand grabs that left wrist. Balance would be plug the right leg up, and then take the side bend to the right. You want to keep the foot down, keep it down. As the hip settles to the left just a little bit, start reaching towards the right. Root down into the heel, but peel up. Inhale, come back up. Swap the hands and the feet. So I just want to plug up here. And then the hip settles to the right a little as I take my side bend to the left. And in the leg, you're adducting, so you're hugging into the midline. Head and throat back, arms back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. You can stay a little more static by holding the pose. If you want to be a little more active on the inhale, you're going to look forward. You're going to charge those legs. You're going to drag your fingers back to your toes so your spine lengthens, and then you're going to fold a little deeper in the pose. And you can do that with each breath. I do that specifically to keep my spine lengthening. That's why I work a little more dynamic in a forward fold. Because I want to round my upper back, and I'm trying to not let that happen, right? But that's the misalignment, so of course my body wants to do that. It's a path of least resistance. So I keep working hard to not let it do that. Next inhale, look forward, walk the hands out in front of you. Use your block, right? It was going to, definitely would help you a little bit here. And then reach the right leg straight back, come to standing split. Keep sweeping the inner heel out so the toes point straight down. So if you look down your leg right now, your kneecap and your toes should be pointing straight down. What's probably trying to happen is your pinky toe is trying to turn to the wall. Don't let that happen. So sweep that inner heel out. You want to work the twist. The right hand stays down. The left elbow draws back. Maybe we reach up towards the sky. But keep your toes loose on that left foot by reaching your right heel to the wall behind you. Inhale, come back to center. Lower that right leg down. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. So this, if you're not sure what I mean by that, this is what I mean. When you go forward, this wants to happen. And the heel wants to get real light. We can't let that happen. So we got to go heel on the left side to the wall behind us. Now my heel on my right foot gets solid. That's the foundation so my toes can move. Now I'm in that standing split. If I want to work the twist, the left hand stays down. I draw the right elbow back. And then I notice, am I coming forward? If I am, I keep reaching that left heel back till that right heel gets heavy. And then I start to reach up to the sky. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Lower the left leg. Walk the hands back in. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Big reach. Sit back chair pose. Yup. I was feeling gentle the other day, right? I'm on the mat with you today, so we're going at it, right? I'm with you, so keep sitting back. Lift those arms up. Yeah. Work those muscles in the back and the shoulders. Lift those arms. Sit back deeper. Pull the belly in. Head and throat back. Lift those arms. Sit back deeper. Push down, rise up. Exhale, fold. Nice, y'all. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. So stay with it. It's one of those moments, right? It's challenging. We're making it a little bit hard here. Right? If all the shit we do is easy and shit that we know, where's that going to get us? Nowhere, right? It's called plateau. Once you plateau, you got to move on to a new space. And let's face it, that new space isn't easy, right? But that's the challenge. And then from downward dog, take a breath. When you're ready, exhale, lower the knees. Hero's pose. You know, for me, I always like that challenge side. That's part of what drives me, right? Like, I like the shit that's hard because that's what keeps me wanting to come back, right? Do you need to keep that all in perspective? Of course, right? Because you're doing shit that's tough. And we all want to be good at the things we do, right? But that isn't always the case in the beginning. You got to work up to that. So the space between our knees will be different. The outsides of our shins will all be the same, parallel with the sides of the mat, as compared to this or this. Yep, nice and neutral. When you turn your feet out, you probably get those sit bones to sit a little bit closer to the floor, or put the block or the blanket underneath. Sit up nice and tall. So flick your toenails into the floor. Hug your shins in. See, this is me just bearing the weight down. I'm gonna pull it up. And then take your right hand behind you, left hand to the outside of your thigh, sit up tall, and then take the twist. I started running this week.
Well,
I haven't ran I've run, but like I haven't ran like that in a very long time. And let me tell you, that shit was hard. Inhale, come back to center. But I cherished every moment of it, right? Even though it was hard. Let's swap side too. But you keep it in perspective, right? And to tell you the truth, I'm out there running in my jeans and my Vans. So I'm kicking it like totally 80s style. Just like working out in your clothes and shit, you know?
Was the bear chasing you?
Now the dog was though. And I'll tell you what, she beats me every time too. I can't even hang with her. Take that nice twist, maybe look over that left shoulder that little bit. And then inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come up, all fours, and then reach that one leg back. And then lower it down, swap side two. Belly's in, shutters are closed. And then lower it down. Take a breath from all fours and take your knees wide. Then shift back, come to Malasana squat pose. So if my heels don't touch, or I need I've told you all before, like taking a step back has been my thing the past couple weeks, right? So when I wanted to try to get my feet more parallel, because when I would do my Malasana, my feet used to be like this, right? And I wanted to get them a little more parallel. So what I did was I went back to the blanket a little bit, and I put my heels on there. And see, I'm not even all the way up here. I'm just putting them on a little bit. And that kind of showed me how to get a little more square. Right? So I kind of took that like one step back, but I got 2 steps forward on that. Right? Now, hug in first, and then push your hands away. Yep. Then drive those elbows down. This is the shape of the pose, but we can't let this be dominant. We got to balance it, right? So when we drive the elbows down, now we can lift the spine a little bit. One more breath. You want to work the crow, lift the hips, place the hands down. Now, your knees were on the outside of your arms. To make it more supportive, bring your knees on the back of your arms. If they're on the outsides, like Malasana, you got to hug in more. Then walk your feet together so your big toe mounts touch. Then look forward. And as you bring the weight forward, your feet are going to get light. As the feet start to float, pull your heels to your butt to your heels. And the heels come up. Nice, y'all. All right, and then we play with the one leg. So you'll be here. Shift the one side a little bit. Release the leg. You take it to where the ceiling and the wall meet. You come back in. You shift over side 2. See, I bend my elbows. And then I reach to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Huh? There's sometimes takers. You know, it's funny because I said to Jess today.
That's right.
But, yeah. So think about what I just said a moment ago, right? About the whole working your way up and stuff. So what you want to try to do is, when you're learning this, you're not going to go for the whole thing. The first thing you're going to do is, you're just going to release the leg. And you're going to say, okay, this is what happens when I release the leg. And then you're going to learn how to support that. So you're going to be like, okay, I can release and I can hold. Then you go to the next part, right? And I'm going to reach back.
I've never been able to get the balance in that, releasing the leg.
I mean, it's hard.
I don't get where, am I over?
You are shifted to the one side a little bit. Yeah, you have to shift over a little bit. It's not a lot. It's just to kind of balance it out a little, right?
For me,
Yeah.
it feels like I don't know where. I feel like I'm so heavy when I'm like in crow. Like it feels like impossible I could ever lift my leg up. Is it like core possibly? Like where does the strength go that you can like release the leg?
Glute and hamstring.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Extending the hip, right? It's coming from flexion. It's coming from flexion, and it's got to go to extension. Remember, like, in the actions of the glutes, extension is the hardest one. It seems like it would be the easiest because we stand up, but it's not. The easiest is going to be this, and then this, and then this, right? And that, keep breathing. Yep. Yeah, but that's the play. Remember, different body types will be different to hold. My hips are going to be, my shape is going to be like this, as other shapes will be like this. If some of you weren't shaped like this, we wouldn't be here. Right? But what does that mean then? That means that you have to be able to control this shape. Right? For me, my femur might be this big, but my hip socket's only this. For some of you, your femur is smaller than this, but your hip socket's this big. Again, we wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case, right? But that's kind of the play sometimes in our bodies. It's like, of course that's going to be more challenging for you to hold than me, right? But that's the play, right? That's how it goes. All right, should we keep going? That was a little rest. All right, where are we? Back of the hip. Okay, cross the right leg over the left. Take the feet apart. sit back between your heels. Then grab that left side, pull it the bottom side, pull it back, the sit bone, and then out to the left. Yep, and do the same thing to your top side. And you should feel like your sit bone's got a little bit closer. And then sit up nice and tall. And if you want, you can hinge forward here to get into the back. This really gets the outside of the hip good here, right? So you can hinge here. Now, I did a couple little shoulder openers with you in the beginning. If you want to try this one, okay, you're going to sit up tall. And then the left arm comes in front. We plug, and we reach back behind us. Opposite elbow, opposite knee, right? So if your right knee's up, now your left elbow's up. And then the right hand comes out to the side, turn your fingernails forward. And then you bend your elbow and walk your hand up. Clasp your fingers. Or drop your strap from that left hand down into your right. Now, your right shoulder's not going to go anymore. That's it. End range of motion, right? So take this left shoulder and go this way. Back. That'll get your hands closer. Yeah. Try to open up that right side body. This is trying to happen. So engage that left one and open up that right one. Yeah. And then watch the boing as you release. Then unwind the legs. Come back to all fours. Swap into side two. Adjust a couple times if you have to, right? Sometimes one's not enough. And then sit up nice and tall. Again, we're back here. We're in the back of the hip, but we're in the side. This one gets really the sides too. So you should be feeling this. If you're feeling back here, maybe down the back of the leg a little bit. And if you're going to hinge, right? We don't want to hinge here. We want to go hit the hip crease. Or if you're going to do Gomukhasana with the arms, then the right arm comes in front, plugs in, bend, reach behind you. The left hand's out to the side. Fingernails forward, bend the elbow and wiggle your hand up. Or drop it from your right hand to your left this time. And then take your right shoulder back. Head and throat back. Yeah. Now settle into the pose. That means like soften your face, right? Couple more breaths. Softening your face is one of the hardest things we do. Because everybody wants to be like, right? And I know, I feel that too, but your body's not going to let it go. And then watch the boing. Your body's only going to let it go if it feels safe, right? And supported. And then unwind. And then one more time, just reach the one leg back. And lower it down, swap side two. And lower it down. Take a breath here. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips. Downward dog. On your breath, when you're ready, take your time, work through one vinyasa. Start to rev it up a little bit. Reach the right leg straight back. Come forward, right knee to left elbow, kick the leg out to the side. And then take your hips back to where the ceiling and the wall meet, like you're pushing back the downward dog. So push your hands down and forward, take your chest back towards your toenails on that left foot. Now drag your right leg back to the right, and you're going to feel the outside of that hip opening up again. But keep pushing back to that downward dog. One more breath. Inhale, unwind, reach that right leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Keep it up. Inhale, come forward to plank with the leg up. Back to downward dog. Two more. Come forward with the leg up. So we're supporting, right, we talked about before, we're now making the hip support itself. We're making that leg float as we're working into these planks. And then after you get back, lower that right leg down, take a breath. Then reach the left leg straight back. Come forward, left knee to right elbow, kick the leg out to the side. And then push back towards that downward dog. and then start to drag the leg back to the left. If you're not a TFL IT band type person, you get this more from like the outside of your knee to your ankle bone. One more breath. And then inhale, unwind that left leg, reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Then come forward with the leg up, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, and back. One more. Then after the 3, lower that left leg down, look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Nice, y'all. Grab your mats, find a spot on the wall, go upside down. If you're at home, you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back, on your mat. Bend your knees. And then interlace your hands behind your thigh, you reach your heel to the sky, take a bunch of breaths, and then swap side 2. If you're at home or in the studio and it's not your day to invert, you can always go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. Okay? This dude's cut from the same cloth as you.
I know, right?
You're like, finally, someone as warm as me.
Oh, it's not even freezing today.
No, it's not. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
And it
Not
snowed
bad.
last night, but only for like 2 minutes. It's disappointing.
Did it snow here? We got
But not-
rain.
Barely.
Yeah, it was rainy. It wouldn't rain too bad, but it was rain. It was windy, real windy.
Yeah, out on the shore.
Yeah,
like that.
real windy, like 40 miles an hour. It was crazy. Today's supposed to be 50.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
super windy. So I'll talk you into downward dog and elbows. If you want to do your handstands, your headstands, your tripods, we did some shoulders, so your pincha. All right, play with that on your own. Any other pose that you want to go with, go ahead and play. All right, so if you're going to stick with me, let's go all 4s, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall, or all 4s. And take a couple breaths. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips. Short downward dog, step 1 foot up the wall, and then the 2nd foot. If you're going to work any of your other inversions, whenever you're ready, play around. This is awesome, y'all. Beautiful poses. Nice, girl. You know, we'll play like about another minute or so. So if you feel like you're inverted out, you know, you can lay on your backs. If you want to kick a couple more up, go for it. And then when you're done with your inversion, we'll meet on our backs. we'll work into some back bends. We'll do two. I'll talk you first into bridge and then into wheel. Those of you that want to play with supported bridge, you can always take the block under the sacrum. If you want to do any variations in your ervas or in your wheels or your bridges, you're more than welcome to. We've done some one leg stuff out, so if you're not sure, so I'd be in bridge, I can reach the one leg out, right? I could do this in wheel also if I want to play with it, but a couple different options on what you want to work. So let's all start together. We're on our backs, knees are bent, feet are on the floor, and we can feel our heels with our fingertips. That's how we know our knees are on top of our ankles. Now we want to start with that neutral pelvis. So your sacrum is flat on the floor, so belly button to spine. If you took your hand, you could not get your hand underneath your sacrum, but you could just wiggle your finger under your lumbar spine, right? Those are two different areas. Sacrum's flat, the lumbar is just very lifted where the fingertips can fit. Now head and shoulders are back. You could even roll by your arms if you want a little more support in the shoulders. And take a breath. Charge the legs up. So you're pushing down into your heels. You're sweeping the heels out. You're hugging the shins in. You're pulling your heels to your butt. Then slowly lift the hips. Now we've been working the shoulders and opening up the chest. So if you want to take the shoulders under a little deeper and interlace your hands behind your back, go for it. That'll be another variation. Everybody take those shoulders back a little bit deeper though. Keep those shutters closed and keep that belly button to the spine. So the sit bones are going towards the backs of your knees. You should feel like your low back's nice and safe. Now as you gently push your feet down and forward, you'll feel the back bend deepening underneath your shoulder blades because sit bones are going towards the backs of the knees, so we're not letting it go in the lumbar spine. We're working right underneath those shoulder blades. Then the knees reach forward and the upper palate of the mouth reaches back so the throat opens up. And then stay engaged as you lower down so you get the sacrum to land flat. So sit bones towards your heels that little bit. Then feet wide, knees touch, hands to cactus or field goal. So we'll be in that chest and that shoulder opener again. If the backs of your hands don't touch the floor, take the block under the back of your hand so you lift the floor up to you a little bit more. Now on the next one, I'll talk you into wheel, but play wherever feels good to you. First, I'll talk you the bridge, and then do it. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms back along the sides. Start in that nice neutral position again. Pelvis is neutral, so sacrum flat. Legs are charged. Core is fired up. Head and shoulders back. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips. You can interlace your hands behind your back. If your left pinky was under, right pinky this time. If you're going to go wheel, place your hands wide to the edges of your mat. When you turn those hands out, you're going to see your elbows come along the outside of your shoulders. We want that. Now plug your shoulders back. And when you're ready, push down and come up. One more breath. Stay engaged. You lower down. And the feet go wide, the knees touch. Hands to cactus or field goal. Notice how when your knees are bent and together, try to pull your belly button towards your knees. Bring your belly button towards your spine. Feel the low back fill in. That's what we're looking for. And then from here, open the knees, windshield wiper side to side. But when your hip is in flexion, those hip flexors are pulling the front of your pelvis, right, towards your thigh. That's how the whole thing works. So you got to take a little more intention to hold that space neutral. And that's our big one, right? The flexion is dominant because the extenders aren't as efficient. We talked about that, right? The push down thing. When you balance both sides out, come to neutral, hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little hug, make a couple small circles. Feels good on the sacrum there and on that lumbar spine. And then come to neutral. Keep your knees bent, lower your feet to the floor. Inhale your right leg up, cross it nice and tight over that left. The hips go to the right a little bit, it's going to help you stay on your mat, and then the knees fall towards the left. So we're on the outside of that leg again. Keep the spine tall here, so you're breathing up out of your waist. The belly's in, the shutters are closed, and then we're going to twist away from those knees, so we're rooting down into that right shoulder. You could even start to look to the right. But don't lose the belly, and don't lose the shutters, so we're getting that nice rotation through the spine. And then we're working that whole functional line here. Inhale, come back up, scoot into the center of your mat, and then unwind that right leg. Take a breath. Left leg goes up, it crosses over. The hips are going to go to the left a little bit as the knees fall to the right. We're going to keep that left shoulder rooted down. Maybe we're going to breathe up out of the waist, get a little more length. We can even maybe start to look to the left. Notice here in these twists, as the breath isn't the same, right? You don't take as deep of a breath here. So now we have a restriction to that twist. Inhale, come back to center. Unwind the legs, scooch back to center, reach the legs out straight, reach the arms up overhead. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, reach the arms, reach the legs. Feel all that space that we made. Then hug those knees to your chest, take those knees wide, come to happy baby, Ananda Balasana. With those knees nice and wide, the sacrum is flat. And then the knees are going to start to draw towards your ears. And we get another opener in the inside of the thighs, we get another opener in the back of the hip. You can go hamstrings by reaching the legs out. You can rock side to side, you can reach one leg out or both legs out. Whatever feels good to you. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center, exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice group. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'll talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation if you like. And as we lay back, we let our legs stretch out, the feet gently roll open. We let the arms come along the sides, and the shoulders settle back. Maybe we even let that open palm turn to the sky. That'll really take the shoulders back. And the open palm draws in the energy. We let our head rest back. Maybe we let our eyes close. We let the tongue soften from the roof of the mouth. Because here the work is to let the body get heavy. To let the mind soften as it turns back to the breath. To let the heart open. The heart's going to get ready to move the practice from the mat into the yoga of life. The heart will bring us back to the mat to practice again. Your heart is what makes the balance. We say our bodies want to do nothing. Our minds want to do everything. And our heart brings it all together. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath wash over the body. Toes to the fingers, crown of your head to your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. As the fingers and toes wiggle, maybe the arms and the legs stretch or reach, move in a way that feels good to us. Taking our time, moving slowly. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest. Just roll to the right side. Push your hands down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time, to seal in our practice, our time together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, Drew. See everyone. Super fun as always. So, I don't think I'm going to be here for the rest of the weekend.